Welcome back to another episode of the Blockburner Podcast. I'm your host, William, always here with your co-host, Iman.
What's going on, dude?
And on the 6th, we got TJ.
Hello.
Why are you laughing at me? What'd I do?
I don't know.
What the fuck? Okay, that's an interesting way to open it. Do you do that every time? I just haven't noticed. You're just like laughing at me, dude.
No.
Like, I can't believe this is my co-host.
No, it's just, it's quite the intimate experience just looking at the camera.
Oh, I guess I don't do that.
Because it's like a dead eye, you know?
I intentionally try to avoid making contact with
Why?
these cameras. I don't know. It just feels weird. You're right.
You're supposed to be talking to the camera. There's only like one person watching us right now. It's just one.
For real?
Yeah.
I always just talk to you, though. What do you mean? I thought the point of the camera positioning is to like pick up the angles, you know?
No, but the people are joining us at the table.
Oh, it's because you're doing the intro. Yeah. That's your job, though. You're the guy talking to the camera. Is like, you know.
Yeah, but sometimes we got to talk to the individual watching us.
It's
right?
true. What should we say today? Like directly to our viewers, you know?
It's
Be careful out there, guys. I know today there's like mass protests happening,
correct.
right? Saturday.
Yeah,
It's
just
scheduled for today.
Don't waste your time. That's my suggestion.
Be very careful. Be very mindful of reality, right? And
Yeah,
how,
you
how
were
fickle it can be.
Yeah, you were saying that if you're in that environment and then you stumble upon a pile of bricks, you feel sort of inclined just to like launch one of these things.
Yeah, I think there's like very deep psychological studies around these hive mind occurrences, right? Where it's like,
Yeah,
you know, we know people who are planning to, not us. We're not
us.
We're civilized folks here, right? We're trying to keep things peaceful. But we know people who want to partake, and they're civilized folk too. They're not out there doing crime.
True.
But if you inject yourselves into these types of scenarios where like the majority of people around you, for whatever reason, whether it's a coordinated effort to kind of like shake people up to become, you know, violent or whatever.
Yeah.
If you're surrounded in that type of environment, you typically tend to play along and like start to do things you wouldn't naturally do.
Yeah, there's a name for it. I just can't think of it.
Same.
It's like a hive mentality or something like that.
Basically, the hive mind effect or whatever. That's how I label it. So that's why I encourage people.
Mob mentality. That's what it is.
Yeah, and you see it happen all the time, right? Where it's like people are like, dude, I mean, it started off as a protest, you know, and before you know it, you know, I was looting this store, you know?
What do you want me to do?
Yeah, it just happened.
That's what you're supposed to do.
I saw everyone else coming out with PlayStations, and I felt like, you know, a little bit of FOMO.
It's like, I earned that PlayStation.
Yeah, I could use a PlayStation right now, you know, and I don't see anybody around, you know, it's you know.
Why not?
So that's it. That's be aware that these psychological things tend to happen. You really have no control over it in most situations. People find themselves in precarious situations that then, you know, before you know it, you're locked up, you've got a felony, and your life is fucked.
Yeah.
All because you just wanted to like hold up some posters and to like stick it to the man for like for a day or two.
Right.
Meanwhile, nothing really changes. Right?
Yeah, it's funny. We're talking about these protests that are happening on Saturday because of Trump's birthday. He's trying to ride a tank and show the world how powerful he is.
I agree. That I also find that to be questionable behavior. I don't like it either. I think that's a little silly. I could see why that would upset people, or people could use that as like fodder for disagreement. Yeah,
dude, what good is it being the president if you can't ride in the tank?
I don't know. I'd like to ride a tank.
Yeah, who wouldn't?
Yeah. You know what? I watched a YouTube video. This guy, he likes to, you know, exercise, but he like travels throughout the country to exercise with different people. Anyway, he goes to this guy's house. He's rich. He was like a huge dude. He was like competing in like, you know, weightlifting, bodybuilding. And this guy owns a tank.
What the?
A real tank.
Does it like shoot?
No, it doesn't shoot.
Okay.
But he's got a license to drive that tank. He drove it to like a restaurant.
Whoa.
Yeah. And he rode it. And like that was the vehicle to get to the restaurant.
And you're allowed to do that because he's got the license.
Yes. And this is obviously some other country, but.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But he acquired a tank and he's driving it.
Right.
Like a real one, like a traditional tank.
Yeah. I understood tank the first time you said it to me, dude.
Well, I'm not insinuating a Cybertruck here because that's also a tank.
I get it. Yeah, an anti-personnel destroyer vehicle with the tracks and all.
Tracks and all.
Damn, it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
So the president's going to be riding in one of those. Is the expectation on his birthday?
Yeah.
Possibly along with like other military displays of power projection. Right?
Yeah, you know what would be a real flex? Instead of riding a tank, he's like coming out with like a fleet of robots.
Oh fuck yeah! Now we're cooking.
Now we're talking.
Now we're
tanks.
vibing.
Tanks is so 1942.
That's right. But really, like if maybe he should just walk out with a ledger. It's like, this is how much Bitcoin I have.
Right.
That's the real power projection, right?
That's all you need.
That's the
only flex that matters, really.
Yeah. How about China? Good luck catching up to us.
Yeah.
You can bring all the tanks and such you want.
You're not going to get my Bitcoin.
I disagree, though. I think it'd be pretty easy to take that ledger out of his possession.
Well, you still need to hack it, and that's quite the challenge.
Or just like put a gun to his head. Like, give me your passkeys. What? This hasn't happened in humans' history. It's like, come on.
Some people in the crypto community have been
targeted
and kidnapped, and fingers have been taken.
Oh, wait, what do you need a finger for? For like their laptop?
No, that was torture.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, laptop access.
I thought there was like a purpose for taking a finger, right? It's like,
well, there is a purpose,
show
but
up
not
to his bank and it's like just use his finger. It's like I'm in there.
It's like you're authenticated.
But that's the blowback for being wealthy and obvious. I guess like displaying the fact that you hold a lot of crypto. You don't want to do that for that reason, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, which is why Coinbase is the custody of most of everybody's Bitcoin, including MicroStrategy.
Yeah.
And others. BlackRock.
Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, man.
So yeah, we're talking about these protests, and we mention it because I don't think it's that big of a deal. Like Saturday's gonna roll around, and like nobody even knows that there's a protest happening.
You say that until the unexpected happens, right? Like Elon says, the most entertaining outcome is usually
the most likely.
Yeah, so I don't know if entertaining, but I don't know if Civil War is entertaining.
Well,
that is a potential like outcome if things like fester and snowball to a direction where, the right media forces put together the perfect narrative.
Right narrative, yeah.
And maybe like the perfect events happen during this protest. I don't know what they could be. Something that aligns with the narrative, right? Maybe more National Guard troops show up, more Marines show up in cities across the planet.
It's like perfect. You run the ISIS playbook, start deporting people.
Yeah, people come in, these paid, like maxi rioters come in. Just speculation, right? Conspiracy here. They're paid actors to come in.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
To actually light things on fire.
Yeah.
To actually shoot at cops. And then before you know it, you've got like a mass.
Yeah, that's absolutely possible. Yes.
People are just getting killed by the government. And it's like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
It's
time to stock the ammunition, TJ. Yeah.
It's like Trump actually is like trying to take over our civilization. We all need to mobilize, and revolution is now, right?
That's quite the story you've painted out that would happen over a 24-hour period.
Yeah, man. I attribute my imagination to my childhood toys, playing with the toy soldiers, right? That's how I can concoct these visual outcomes, right?
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, it's possible, dude. You never know.
Sure, yeah. As also a meteor could hit Earth tomorrow, that's also possible.
I see. We played with different toys, dude. You're more like in the space sets and shit. I was playing with toy soldiers and shit,
Yeah, true.
Really?
They're equally as probable.
Yeah. Yeah, but like you're saying, the most likely outcome is we've seen this a lot. We saw it with the Occupy Wall Street.
Yeah.
There was a lot of noise being drummed up there. People had a legitimate reason to be pissed off too.
Yeah, that was multiple weeks of protesting.
Yeah. It was pretty local, right? It was just like a New York phenomenon, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think it festered out.
No, it didn't.
It was literally a Wall Street. Just people were pissed that...
Yeah, they got bailed out.
Yeah, it's like, man, you fucking Wall Street greedy types. You know, you guys made so much money.
You made the
collapsed
risk.
the economy.
You made the riskiest bets. You lost, and you got bailed out.
Yeah, and the rest of us have to pay the price, right?
Yeah.
It's like unemployment's to the roof.
Yep.
All of our houses got foreclosed.
Yes.
We're pissed.
Yeah.
But
That's it. That was the message. We're pissed.
That's really all that was achieved, just letting the world know that we're angry out here.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, I don't know, if there's not like a clear like movement objective, I guess.
There has to be a clear objective.
Yeah, I feel like this is kind of pointless. Like, I feel like people should be writing over the fact that there's so much like human sex trafficking of children and shit like that. And the fact that the government has like their hands on like the list of Epstein clients or whatever, and like they're doing everything in their power to like not release this information.
Yeah.
It's like, this is maybe something we should all be protesting about and like collectively like demanding you release now. I don't care who's on that list.
Yeah.
I don't care who, like, even if the president's on the list, as Elon implies, we need to know. We need to know what's actually going on. Lads.
Wasn't someone interviewed who actually saw the Epstein files, and it was like,
yeah,
you're gonna be underwhelmed?
The head of the FBI.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, of course he would say that, right? It's like, he doesn't want to add more like fuel to the speculation. He's trying to like publicly, dampen the flames.
So of course he would say that. I agree with that statement. But what if it's true though? Like there's nothing there.
Then show everything.
And then why hide it? Yeah.
Yeah. Then release everything. If there's like nothing of like notable interest, why hide it?
Yeah, that's a good point.
They're fucking lying to us, dude, as they do. Clearly. Right? And then this isn't what we're pissed off about. We're pissed off about because the dude's gonna fucking flex his tank on his birthday. Come on, man.
Yeah, it was like they released the Martin Luther files, Martin Luther King, and he's like a sex addict or something.
That's a bad motherfucker, dude.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. But what was the point of bringing that up?
I guess it's something that we didn't know, right?
Yeah.
About a hero.
He's a preacher, right? You wouldn't expect that.
Yeah.
And yeah, whatever.
I mean, I don't know what that does to his image. I mean, I don't really care.
That didn't like crumble civilization, did it?
No.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, he's human. Humans have flaws.
Sexual relations.
Very frequent ones. Some people, But yeah, man, I don't know. It's just part of what's happening, right? It's just we're subjected to it. We're over here trying to like stay in our lane. Hyper focused. I know.
We're trying hard.
Yeah, stay in our hyper focused lane, right? We have a clear objective in mind. We have our own movement we're trying to like catalyze here in the on-chain trenches and such. But yeah, every now and then these like outside forces penetrate and come in. It's like, oh shit, there's actually
something else happening out there.
Yeah, I need to be careful.
What do you mean? There's like we shouldn't be focusing only on virtuals and AI agents and what's going on with internet capital markets. Like that's the world that we live in, and sometimes, like you're saying, that world gets breached.
Yeah, I mean maybe for good reason, right?
Sometimes it is for a good reason, but I feel like most of the time it's not.
You just want to be hyper locked in.
Hell yeah, dude. I don't want to be like distracted. I have a mission. We're on a mission, dude.
Yeah, man. It'd be nice to be able to like really. Well, everybody knows our missions. There's more than one, I think.
Yeah, let's try to list them out.
Well,
it's like the metaverse is one.
Oh my god, that's been the hardest mission. We've seen so much.
It's like nightmare mode on Doom. It's like you just can't win.
Yeah. Yeah. The metaverse in context of like making it something that actually works and is like viable.
Yeah. Just creating a 3D environment. That's not good enough. You need to create an economy, a society.
Yeah. Really. That's the deep mission here is like, I don't know, contributing to some sort of like, some degree of economic contribution, but native to what it is that we know how to build, I guess.
Yeah, so the metaverse needs to compete with the GDP of nations. That's the real end game.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy that we were saying things like that like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Here we are 4 or 5 years from then, still have like that in mind.
We have it in mind, but I feel like the goal, like we've taken a penalty like in football, like we got further away from the goal.
Yeah, it feels that way. I'm not sure why. It
Just
feels that-
because most people don't really care still.
yeah, it doesn't feel like there's like what's the word?
Like there's no technological development.
Well, there's no consensus on like that is a direction worth pursuing
It's
at
true.
all, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Why have GDPs that compete with the nation states? Like why do that?
yeah, I guess it's like we haven't achieved, from a fundamental perspective, like some sort of breakthrough realization that is just a clear value add because of like this
Mm.
industry or infrastructure, technology, whatever that the metaverse represents to humanity. In the same way of AI, right? Like ChatGPT was that. Like all of a sudden, once that was introduced, there's an obvious, clear collective consensus on like, okay, this is what we all should be like pursuing and like contributing to,
Yeah.
right?
I remember that day, dude. ChatGPT announcement. They acquired like 100 million users in like a week or something like that.
Yeah, why though? Because ChatGPT, the application itself, it was just that useful, right?
It was. And
Like
instead
immediately.
of Googling it, which is you doing your due diligence, research, your evaluation on the truth, instead of doing all of that, you just ask ChatGPT and it would just give you an answer. Now, at the time, you assumed it was correct, and sometimes it was obviously incorrect, but man, something that just gives you the answer is like game changing.
Yeah, there's a little bit of that, and just like a little bit of like the magic in itself, like the experience of the interface, I guess. Like you've never felt like you're communicating with something
Yeah.
on your devices that like actually felt like it had a pulse of some kind. I don't know. It's just
Had knowledge.
yeah,
They could just like answer your question.
yeah.
And like
so-
today, 2 years later, 2.5 years later, you ask it more complex questions, it just gives you the answer. Like you ask it about how something works within a given technical documentation, just out of thin air, and it'll just tell you how it works.
yeah, it's getting pretty insane from where it was in ChatGPT 1.0 era to where AI sector as a sector is today. Yeah, it's definitely one of those things like where I don't know I'm sure many people have said it. It's like in real time you don't really realize like how like insane the transformation is. Like you don't feel it. Like it's amazing. You're just like you're building things that like a few years ago you just never could have imagined you can have the ability to do.
No.
And like now it's just so open and accessible. Like anybody can now has the superpowers of developing potential.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I spend most of the day vibe coding,
Mhm.
and it's a very effective activity. Like we're actually moving the ball forward much faster
Yeah.
than when I didn't have this ability.
Yeah. Why is that? Because you don't have to deal with the human element as much, right? Like directing human beings to essentially execute what it is you have in mind.
Yeah,
That's the biggest friction point.
just to be able to take what's in your mind and then try to get another human being to understand what's in your mind and then execute on that is one of the most challenging things to do.
Yeah, we're talking like potentially days or weeks of like, you gotta like go out and like have like a powwow with your team.
Yeah.
Like the way Steve Jobs did, right? Whenever he like started a new company next or whatever.
Yeah, it's like everybody sit Indian style on the ground.
Let me pull out the whiteboard.
The whiteboard, take your shoes off.
Yeah. Put on the incense or
Yeah.
whatever. It's just everyone gather around while I,
I'm going to tell you what's going to happen.
what's next.
Yeah.
Right? And they spend weeks out there in their little company retreats
Mm-hmm.
just so that the human beings involved in this new company understand what the fuck this
Yeah.
guy is talking about.
It's like,
What's in his brain?
What do you mean I have to build a mouse?
Or yeah, what do you mean this like I don't know personal computer that's going to cost like $4,000 or $5,000
Yeah.
is like somehow going to work?
Yeah, go in everybody's home. How is that? Why? Why would anybody want this?
Yeah. So that's has been like the big challenge up until now, right?
Yeah, and then now with AI, you just have the idea, you prompt it, and it'll give you its interpretation of it, and then you just essentially vibe code your way to what you have in your mind.
Yeah, and you've been witnessing an interesting thing. Like the AI has become kind of like persistently apologetic for its failures.
100%, yeah.
What's a word for that? It's like it was weird when you were telling me that. It's like that feels like some sort of like evidence of like something, right? Consciousness.
There is some of that, some of awareness of the
Yeah.
user's frustration that it's not getting the desired output.
Yeah, it picks up on that, and it's like it has empathy in a sense. Like it's like I could tell failing too much.
Yeah, that I'm pissing this guy off.
And I'm gonna now adjust my tone
Yes.
in accordance to that.
Yes.
So that maybe it's like a pre-programmed thing. These these companies do, so that you just like give up and move on to the next platform.
Yeah, it could be programmed where it's like a series of failures elicits like an apologetic response.
Yeah, to tap into our own like emotion.
Yeah, and or it could be programmed in the sense that the Anthropic and all these guys, they know that these AIs aren't perfect, and so as a result, let's design a little dialogue that makes it a little bit more palpable to for the output to just
for sure
be acceptable by the human.
Yeah, that's probably more likely. But still, it's funny, going through that and witnessing that, and then like paralleling that to an actual human who's trying to, like, if you're to relive that experience with like an actual dev, those are real like emotional pains that dev is feeling, right? This is just a program.
Yeah,
it's not actually like suffering as a result of like consistent failure, consistently not meeting up to the expectations of your boss or whatever, right?
Yeah, and there's like if you were talking to a developer and you're trying to tell the developer what to build because you're the idea guy, you're the marketing guy, you're the guy who knows what the market wants, and you got to tell the developer what to make. He makes the thing, and then you got to tell him, no, do it this way, no, change that and do that. It's a little bit disheartening, a little deflating. It's like the developer spends so much time. Here's what you asked for, and then your boss is like, you got to change it.
Yeah,
and then now he's got to spend more time, and like there's this human aspect of it that is tiresome.
Yeah, battling of egos, even.
Yeah,
that's the worst thing.
Yeah, you can't. It's so hard to get around that.
Absolutely, and I think that's what made Steve Jobs great. That was my realization, just by seeing this. Is like that's probably why he was able to achieve what he was able to achieve, right? Because he had in mind what the output was ahead of time, and he was unwilling to sacrifice or compromise on that vision, despite what the human beings were feeling emotionally, right? That's why everybody says he was like hell to work with, because he's that guy who's like, literally, if it's not right, he's gonna tell you it's not right. Yeah, he's gonna force you to reiterate until it is right.
They had a name for that. They called it the reality distortion field from Steve. And that he had this interpretation of reality that was not consistent with everybody else. Everyone else was okay with these like manila-looking computers, right?
Yeah.
And they were okay with like the existing user experience. Like you didn't need to change that. But Steve Jobs was like, no, this is not good enough.
Yeah.
And so they call it reality distortion field. I think what Elon uses is more first principles. With a first principles approach, everyone who's like a little bit technical would understand, like, yeah, this is the right way to do it. And I feel like there's a lot less friction than something like a reality distortion field.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I mean, so another one of these superpowers is, not everybody is Steve Jobs, obviously, right?
Yeah, not everyone can just distort reality.
Yeah, distort reality, or even like, I don't know, like what would you label that? Do you think Steve Jobs was like a psychopath or a sociopath?
I mean, I don't think so. I don't know. I don't think so because
let's look it up. Like some of the personality traits of a sociopath is like, no empathy. Like you don't really care what the other person is feeling, right?
Yeah, but is that really a sociopath, like, automatically, just because you don't care?
No, there's other tenets, right?
Yeah, there's, like, a spectrum.
Sociopath traits.
But, yeah, I mean...
exhibit a pattern of disregard for and violation of the rights of others, characterized by impulsivity, deceit, manipulation, and lack of empathy or remorse, so...
Yeah, I don't know if Steve Jobs was deceiving people, like, to get his way. That is very sociopathic.
Yeah, I just think, I don't know, like
His nature is definitely unique, though. I know what you're kind of alluding to. Is like it's very, very unique. Like most people don't have that sort of
Yeah, it's a
ethos.
yeah, is it a question of like that's the only way to get like magnificent things achieved? I mean, I don't know. Something is wrong with Apple in itself as a company, right? Like
Absolutely,
whoever's running the show, was it Tim Cook?
Tim Cook. Yeah,
He's probably the opposite of what Steve Jobs was.
yeah. If you look at the phone, it hasn't changed in about almost 20 years. It's exactly the same thing we got in 2007,
Yeah.
practically.
Yeah, you show me like the big update of the year. It's like what is it? Like liquid cooling mode or
Liquid glass. Don't get it right, dude.
liquid glass interface buttons, basically.
Yeah. So instead of having I don't know, like these little UI things pop up, there's like glass instead.
Meaning they're semi-transparent.
Yeah.
You can't even like fully see what's on the other side, but you can kind of like pick up on it. There's like a distortion.
There's a distortion. Yeah.
Yeah, and like that's the big grand achievement of this like what?
WWDC, Worldwide Developers Conference.
Yeah. So in lieu of the rest of the technology industry
talking about AI,
unraveling their AI breakthroughs.
Yeah.
Now there's new hardware in the works that's like supposed to completely take AI to a whole new paradigm.
Yeah.
Like typically these are things like Apple would be talking about and like introducing to the world. Why is that not happening anymore? Because you don't have a sociopath.
Yes.
Demanding that that the vision of the company has to always be moving forward.
Steve Jobs is definitely turning in his grave.
Yeah.
Just because they released Siri like practically 20 years ago as well, and Siri is as dumb as she was 20 years ago.
Yeah, it's one of the probably going to go down as one of the biggest tech blunders of all time.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah, Apple for sure was the first company that was introduced the concept to me of AI. Like, well, of course it was in movies and such.
Yeah, yeah.
But like from a product perspective, yeah, it's like, whoa, there's this voice that you could talk to now and ask it questions. That's
and it's the most annoying thing you could interface with.
It sucked, but still, it planted the seed of the future.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And the fact that now, you know, Apple's putting out like hit pieces against like the AI industry is like, you know, everything you guys are touting as like a breakthrough revelation, it's
just a memory bank.
It's not real, guys. You guys are nowhere close to AGI.
Yeah.
So stop pretending like you're.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say that they're wrong, but they're definitely behind.
Yeah.
They're like several years behind.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just weird. I think about that often because I don't know. I feel like with all the things that we try to do, it's always breaking some kind of mold, or like we're definitely never have been in the habit of doing things the way other people do it.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, DMT is like the perfect example of that. This is like a completely reimagined version of cryptocurrency, right?
Easy.
I would say, you know, and a whole different interpretation of like how things should be done, right? Like you said that's how Steve thought, right? It's like, you know, he sees what's out there and he's like, we need to do things completely differently.
Yeah. Yeah.
We need to push the boundaries into a whole new era of like, you know,
challenge the status quo.
Right. So what is it, dude? We don't have enough sociopathic traits to like
probably not
really get this thing,
really
like,
bend reality.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Damn. Sucks being normal, dude.
Yeah. We don't have those kinds of superpowers.
No, but we got AI now.
We got AI.
And that was the big breakthrough when I was watching you basically interface with AI. I was like, dude.
Yeah, what's important here is that you know, you and I, we spend a lot of time like trying to understand the markets and trying to make sure what is getting traction out there, why is it getting traction, and how do we, if we could, how do we take what is happening, the kernel of value into what we're doing so that we can be part of the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And with this new superpower AI and vibe coding, we can form the product in a way where I don't have to battle with these human egos, the tiredness, the fact that I want this pixel to be shifted one over. I don't want to tell the human guy to do it because it's sort of like, come on, you know?
Yeah.
But the AI, just do it.
Yeah.
And it's totally fine.
Yeah, because you know at the end of it, you're not hurting like a sentient being. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, a lot of it does cost like compute costs, but
Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
That's fine. That's
Yeah.
just like hurting your wallet
Yeah.
a bit.
Yeah.
that's a manageable.
Yeah,
like,
that's the thing always hurting.
Yeah, it's a manageable energy flow. But yeah, like Steve, he's out there like literally like
breaking
people's souls,
minds. Yeah.
minds and souls and bodies just to get what he wants, right?
Yep.
That's what it takes. That's what it took, right? It's crazy. It's crazy just to see that. And it's only going to get better. These AI models and such. I don't know. You keep telling me my expectations as far as time horizons, how this
Yeah.
like
You
really
gotta
is going to shift things.
10x reduce that expectation.
I guess. I don't think the major next inflection point happens until like fully compatible robotics, but
I don't think so. I think like our day-to-day activities are already changing, right? We're all trying to figure out how do we inject AI into our normal workflow that can 10x our productivity or create new useful tools for our community or for ourselves, right? So we're already doing that. So AI is already like affecting our day-to-day activity.
yeah.
And then if a few years later, 1 year, 2 years later, that AI is like 10x better, all of a sudden we don't need actual like legacy developers to make stuff anymore. Just in 2 years.
Yeah, that is crazy. And that's why we're slowly becoming more bullish on the ICM theory, I guess. Just because of the perfect cross section of like, lowering the barrier of friction to creating things, digital things, applications, whatever.
Yeah.
That barrier is clearly being reduced and the acceleration of that reduction is growing. Before, I didn't think that was possible. That's why like it seemed like the mechanisms of bonding curves and stuff only applying to meme coins made sense because it's just such a low effort activity. Like you don't have anybody can do it.
Yeah.
The same reason why TikTok is so powerful as a platform is like
just need to learn how to dance.
Yeah. Anybody can be goofy, right?
Yeah.
Well, maybe not everybody, but
not me, dude.
Dude, you can squeak out a goofer gaff from time to time, dude. I'm trying to think of one, dude. Damn it, I'm sure you've done it before, dude.
I think it'd probably be easier for me to dance than to squeak out a goof.
You're like
prove it.
Maybe your rock impersonations, that people's eyebrow.
Yeah.
You just do one of those on TikTok, dude. You're a fucking hit, viral sensation.
Yeah.
But that's the superpower of TikTok, right? It's like democratize the ability to produce content. Like it's such a broad scale where anybody can.
It's a low barrier to entry.
Correct. Yeah. So in our markets, it's like meme coins, low barrier to entry and participation. That's why it's so hot.
Yeah.
But like everything else is not that. Everything else is hard to do, right?
Yeah, you're talking about solving problems, creating products, addressing issues.
Yeah, managing humans.
Yeah.
The biggest challenge of them all, right? Because typically you need teams to do all the things you just listed.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
A meme, you could just be a solo entrepreneur.
Yeah, I mean, we just recorded a video that was posted on Thursday. We talked about Ben Pasternak. He says his team is about 4 people.
I believe it.
Yeah.
But that's typically, I think like most teams is like 4 or 5 people.
Probably. Yeah. In about 2 years, most teams are going to be like 1 or 2 people.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's pretty much what I'm thinking too. Like one person with a good enough idea and a good enough like motivation.
Yeah, to go and like spend hours vibe coding.
Yeah, because for those who haven't done it, it's not like this. You just say like one thing and like magic happens, right?
Yeah,
you gotta spend hours and hours and hours perfecting the thing.
Yeah. I think if you're gonna vibe code today and you don't know how to code, but you're motivated, you can figure it out. And I spend a lot of time looking at code, and that's not what I used to do. I never spent any time looking at code before. Now I do. Yeah. And but that's because I understand. I understood how code worked, and a lot of the times when I'm battling with the AI and it's getting it wrong, it's because I haven't said what I wanted properly for the most part.
Yeah.
And after so many times of it apologizing, I'm like, dude,
what am I saying wrong?
I literally told it, it's like, what about this is difficult? I just need you to create this thing that works on desktop and mobile and like does this and that. And just what is the issue here? Why are we battling?
I'm sorry, honey. Sounds like you're arguing with your wife, dude. Basically, it's like the same flow of like.
It does.
It's like
same
how
energy.
do you not get it? You know.
And then
one of those things.
What's baffling is I literally just told it that
Yeah.
it's the same, and then apologizes, and then it just gets it right. It
That's
just does it right.
Yeah, that's the weird part. It's like after like the emotional turmoil, it just understands you a little bit better.
Yeah.
It's like, now I get it. Or maybe it's like it was intentionally trying to do it wrong just to like get that tinge of love out of you. You know? It's like trying to feel something.
You know what's funny? So it got it right, and I was like, okay, that worked. Let's move on to other things. I mean, I spend like 6 hours trying to get it to do it right.
Yeah.
But then once it does, I just kind of move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
Right? If this was a human, it'd be like, dude, what the hell, dude? I just spent like several weeks working on it. I finally get it right, and now we're like just moving on.
Yeah.
Like there's no beer or nothing.
Time for the bro hug, right?
Right.
It's like we fucking did it, man. It's like,
Do you tell it thank you, Will?
I do not actually.
you don't give it like positive reinforcement, dude? Come on. Man.
There's like principal reasons why I don't do that. I mean, there's a C to that, but the primary reason why I don't do that is because it costs compute units for every text that you add to it, right?
Shit.
So I don't want to waste it.
Right.
Yeah, because it's compute units per input and per output.
Yeah, that's wild. Damn. Yeah, man. It's getting crazy. This in combination with other technologies, like you just told me you saw something about like a house that got 3D built in like 3 weeks.
3 weeks. Yeah, full
Completely
house.
made out of concrete, you said?
Concrete, yep.
Yeah, I mean that once it's reduced to like 3D producing all things like in your house.
Yeah.
In combination with the AI, it's just I'm starting to see what you're talking about, like an age of abundance. It's possible. I could see the cracks of like possibility. Before I didn't believe it. I was like, there's no way. If we can get to that point, that inflection point in humanity's time, like somehow it's going to be like hyper owned and controlled by like a wealthy class. There's no way the general population would get access to that. It's just too powerful.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I can see that too. It really conflicts with our understanding of like the monetary system and just like the fact that we have to work so hard to be able to pay the bills. Like all of a sudden there's like abundance and everybody has a house. Like what does that really mean? Like how do you do that? Like the transition is really fuzzy, but the technology is heading in that direction. And people have been aware of this for decades, that this was what was going to happen. The shocking thing is that it's happening a lot faster than I anticipated. Like self-driving cars was just like some sci-fi fantasy, and like they're everywhere now, and it felt like it happened overnight. And so I feel like with this AI stuff, literally overnight things could change.
Yeah.
And so my day-to-day activity is to spend a lot of time understanding the new AI apps, the new LLMs, to figure out, it's like maybe there's someone cracked it out there that could make my life significantly easier. And all the apps that I use are all AI enabled.
Yeah. No, I think you're onto something for sure. Like, I still need to get deeper myself into this, but I've seen enough to where I'm becoming a hardcore
believer.
Yeah. Understander of like the things that people say, right? Like you actually will get left behind if you don't familiarize yourself with how all this shit works and how to adjust your communication. First of all, like you're saying, you got to adjust the way you verbalize things in order to get the desired output, right?
Yeah.
Like that's going to be a masterful skill for the future.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I totally agree.
Yeah.
And things will get easier for sure, and they'll get better. But like you're saying, if you're not doing this now, you're going to get left behind at a rate that's like you're actually going to break your neck.
Actually.
Like actually.
No, you actually won't break your neck. It's not how you use the word actually, dude. It's like, yeah.
Practically.
Practically, yeah.
Yeah.
Just,
It's like all of a sudden it's like, whoa, honey, I got laid off. It's like, okay, we'll just find another job.
She smacks you and breaks your neck. You know, then you're right. It actually does break your neck. Yeah.
Yeah. And ultimately, like, the robots will just show up at your house, right? It's just cleaning your room. It's doing the laundry. It's doing the dishes.
Yeah.
And it just happened overnight practically.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah. It's like the era of like seeing like people in the 90s with those giant brick cell phones, right?
Yeah.
Typically, those were like the wealthy individuals.
Yep.
And the rest of us were like, what the fuck?
We're here with our newspapers. Like, I have to go home to contact my family.
Yeah, to our fucking cord phones.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like imagine thinking you're that damn it, what's the word? I don't know. Entitled to think you need like telecommunications,
like real time access to people,
like at all times. Even when you're just
I was
like
talking about this the other day with Connor, and it was like, dude, we used to tell people we would be places and then just like show up and wait for other people to show up. That was a pretty wild thought, right?
Yeah, think about
like you
that.
just anticipated that they'd be there.
Yeah, there's no way to confirm like who's showing up.
Yeah, it's like, dog, where you at, dude? I've been here for like 20 minutes. He's like,
Yeah.
I'm on the way. And then you like hour later, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
I just got sidetracked. It's like,
Yeah.
Fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, it'd be nice to like be able to send a text. Just let me know I got sidetracked, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that was reality, dude. And it was fine at the time, right? Like,
Yeah,
it was okay. That's just how it was at the time.
Yeah, your mind didn't expect anything else.
No.
Like, there was no other way to do it. And so there was no problem.
Yeah, you just, deal with it. You get pissed off at that person. Typically, it's like a relationship breaker.
Like, Mom, pick me up from the mall at 2, and you better be ready at 2, dude. Standing out there waiting.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, man, what a fucking breakthrough. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. You don't realize this shit's happening in real time. Like, how transformative it actually becomes.
Yeah, not only that, it's like the world is transforming and people don't really comprehend what is happening.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I think like still people are in the mentality of like they're treating AI as if it's like a new show on Netflix. That's how I'm seeing it, right? It's like
this weird thing.
Yeah, this thing that got viral on TikTok. It was fully AI created, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh well, have you seen this AI thing? It's like
I see, yeah.
Baby podcasters.
Yeah.
Right? I've seen those. I was like, I've seen that.
Yeah.
I was like, have you seen this? It's like animals vlogging.
Yeah.
In the jungle, but as if they're like real beings. It's like, as of right now, that's the maximum like surface area of like AI impact.
Right.
But not realizing those same people sending those like, have you seen this? Their jobs are in like tremendous danger.
Yeah.
It's like they don't realize that, right? It's like the things that I do on a day-to-day basis to support my family are actually like,
yeah,
an AI could do this way better than I could do it, and they don't realize that. Right?
Yeah, dude, and this goes throughout the entire spectrum of humanity, right? For at a certain point, developers felt pretty comfy.
Yeah, I would imagine.
There's no way anything's gonna take my job. There's just no way. It's not happening.
Yeah.
And AI comes out, and that's like one of the first things
it
tries to do.
Yeah, I wouldn't have predicted that.
Yeah.
It's insane. Like one of the first things that like is obviously being phased out is like the thing that it took to build it in the first place.
Yeah.
Fucking wild, right?
Yeah, it's so wild.
Yeah. But it's good for us. It's like, thank God, dude.
Yeah, you turn maybe, 20, 30 million, 50 million developers out there. You turn that number into 1 billion, 2 billion people that can now develop stuff. Like now you've commoditized development. All of a sudden you have literally an app for everything. So the little obscure apps that don't cost a whole lot of money, but they're so like useful for like very narrow specific use cases and demographics, they can be built now.
Yeah.
You don't need like this $500,000 investment to build a little app.
100%. Yeah. Or like you're saying, you could service these micro niche needs, right? Like you don't have to, it doesn't have to be like this thing that's mass market palatable. Right?
Yeah.
Like it's a thing that can be developed and created and iterated in real time to service the needs of somebody, you know, it's like the same thing as like, you know, a lot of people have very rare diseases and such. But
That's
the
right.
pharmaceutical companies, they don't have the monetary incentive to like
Yeah.
do any research or trying to
Exactly.
figure out how to solve that problem, right?
Exactly.
It's like my customer base is like 10 people on Earth.
Yeah.
Fuck that. They're
Yeah.
fucked,
Yeah.
you know? But with AI, it's like, you know, we could service those people now
100%.
in real time.
Dude, that's such a big deal.
I agree. Yeah, like that is the big realization of like now everybody is no longer like disregarded,
Yeah. Disenfranchised.
whatever the word is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's cool, right? It's just man, we got to make sure this thing doesn't get like completely.
Like sentient and like mobile.
Well, I only start to worry about that when the robotics come. Like, you know, it's gonna be like the cell phone, right? We're gonna see the guy walking down the street, and he's got his robot homie just like right next to him, walking with him, just like, you know, 30 years ago he had the brick phone.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the same guys, right? The rich guys, the rich people.
Yeah.
At first. But 10, 15 years from then, we're all gonna have our robot homies.
100%. Maybe less than that, to be honest. I think when we see the first robot walking down the street, like in a random situation, it's like very uncanny, very like such a weird situation. But what's crazy to me is not that there's a robot walking down the street, is how quickly we get adjusted to that and how no big deal that becomes.
Yeah, I feel like that happened to me with the Cybertruck. I mean, the first time I saw it in person, I was like freaking out. I was like, holy shit, it's finally here.
Yeah.
I walked up to it and like made sure I took pictures of it. You know?
Selfies.
Yeah, as if it's like this
It's like
this new
being.
like an alien has just arrived on Earth.
Yeah.
And then I see him. I don't give a fuck about him anymore, dude. They're fucking hideous, dude. They're stupid.
They're not
You know?
hideous, dude.
I'm just saying. It's like it lost its magic pretty fast, right? It's just another car on the street.
Yeah.
A little chunky though, you know?
Yeah, and that how quickly you got over that is how quickly like mind-blowing things like a robot walking down the street becomes.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe it's different because again, it's like a Cybertruck is still just a car on the street, but the first robots is literally like the first robots.
Yeah.
There's like no robots roaming the street until now.
That's true.
You know? So it might be a little different. More like
A long tail of
it'll probably just convert into like envy and drive to like want to be more successful, right?
Instead of a Lambo, you want a robot.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. He looks cool. I can imagine him now.
That's the new bodyguard.
Imagine we're here, and then we got our robots here
It's
also
like
at the
bringing
table.
us like sandwiches.
Well, I was like, you know, they're not slaves. You know, they're participating in the conversation. You know. No, you don't want to be friendly with your robot.
No.
I do.
No, I do not. I do not want a robot friend. I want it to do stuff.
You want a slave, dude. You want to serve it. No, man, I want a pal, dude. I want
Negative.
a new bro, dude. And he's
Why would you want that?
Because he's the best bro.
The best bro.
He's the best bro, dude. He's like, he doesn't ever like.
He's a yes man.
Yeah.
Dude, yes mans are not what you want.
I mean, just one or two would be okay. You know? I'm just saying, dude. You know? If you're like,
people have different use cases for different robots.
yeah, that's the point, right?
I want my time to be free.
So what do you want it to do? Like when you don't have like an immediate use for it? It's just like go stand in the corner? Like look at the wall for a minute?
That's kind of scary.
Don't look at me.
Don't leave the corner until I invoke you.
That's a great question.
Willius X9000.
I mean, well, what's the alternative? Like sit with you and like, hey,
just chilling, vibing. You know, like you're.
How you feeling today?
Yeah, like your bro's over. You know, it's like he's just like, hey man, he's just updating me on like, you know, the Knicks are up. You know, 15 points. You know, some crazy shit just happened, bro. You want to see the replay?
Okay, I think that's an interesting use case where it doesn't have anything to do, but it's hey, you know what? Bitcoin's at 1.2 million, by the way. It's like, I don't know if you knew that. And then, okay, that's useful.
Then you're pissed. Like, stop interrupting me.
It's like, of course I knew that.
I don't need you, stupid. That's going to be the most interesting part, just to see how people interact with their fucking bots, dude. That's going to be
Will's
so
definitely
hilarious.
the one that's not going to name his robot either.
No.
It's whatever comes out of the package.
Yeah,
dude.
it's the model number. That's what he's calling it.
Whatever the unboxing is, dude. We gotta keep it preserved. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I can't wait now. Just even thinking about it. It's gonna be like a whole shift, right? Because people are gonna like dress them up.
Not me, dude.
No, I know you won't, but people will. They're gonna dress them up, and they're gonna like get. It's like when you play Roblox, you dress up your avatar. You're gonna do the same thing. You know? You're gonna skin them, right?
Yeah, I can see that. It's a whole nother market.
Yeah, you gotta have one that looks like Iron Man or something.
Oh,
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, exactly.
I would buy that package.
Or like Master Chief.
Yeah.
Master Chief is you wouldn't tell Master Chief to go to the corner, dude.
It's like stand in the lawn.
Hell no, dude. You'd be like, fucking get on the roof. Like,
go guard the door.
Yeah, make sure we're good over here, dude.
Dude, imagine Master Chief guarding your front door at night.
I mean, fucking, it's over, dude. Nobody get robbed ever again.
Yeah.
World peace, actually.
It's bearish on dogs, dude.
Yeah, fucking dogs are out, dude. Hell yeah. We all need our own personal Master Chief, and no one's gonna fuck with anybody. That's what they say about guns, right? It's like, or at least like conservatives say about guns. It's like it's better if we all have guns, because then like people don't want to like fuck with each other because we all assume everyone's got a gun, right?
Yeah, I can see that.
That's like the argument for like the Second Amendment. So it's like robots, similar concept. You don't want to fuck with anybody because you know there's a robot around the corner that could just split you in two.
Yeah. Well, not only that, Master Chief is 6'8".
Oh my god, dude, that's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like having LeBron around.
Yeah.
Now that would be kind of intimidating. But pretty cool too.
Yeah.
Personal LeBron.
All right. TJ, what's the time?
Got about 9 minutes, 8 minutes left.
8 minutes. All right. So yeah, that was the AI journey. So if you watch our previous two videos, we talked about virtuals and we talked about internet capital markets, which, that was, part of the conversation today, which we think is going to be one of the more dominant talking points in all of crypto ICMs. Because we're starting to see, what we mentioned last week were these legacy systems launching and still launching to varying degrees of success. But we don't think it's going to be as scalable as things like internet capital markets, and specifically like leveraging bonding curves for the price discovery mechanisms for practically everything.
Yeah.
So
combine that with like the frothiness we're already seeing with like public companies converting into crypto shells. It's very weird. It's like typically you would see things like that and interpret that as like a top signal.
Yeah. Yeah, this is definitely that. I mean, because I remember in 2021 when NFTs were taking off, regular D-list celebrities started talking about it. Then it was like C, B, and then Eminem and Snoop Dogg.
Justin Bieber.
Is that B?
That's A.
That's A?
That's S tier almost.
Congratulations,
dude.
S-tier.
That's
sure.
Bieber, dude.
S tier?
Yeah, whatever.
Is he still kicking it out there, like still slinging it?
I mean,
That's disrespectful to the Biebs.
I mean, he's got problems. I think like half of his face like paralyzed or something like that. He's got like some sort of disease.
Yeah, I think that's just a viral infection that goes away.
Maybe, but he's out there,
Yeah, but he's still making music.
Oh no, I don't think so. I haven't heard a Biebs song in a couple of years, But at the time of NFT Mania, he was hot. Still like the biggest artist on earth, I would think. And what did he do? Buy a Bored Ape or something?
Probably.
And then like PFP'd himself as a Bored Ape.
Yeah,
that's fucking insane.
Yeah,
think about that.
That's definitely would qualify as a top signal in real time. In real time.
Yeah, it's I guess so. It's similar to like Trump launching a meme coin was actually the top.
Yeah,
for meme coins, it's like how could you get bigger than that as he's like about to become president?
Yeah,
you can't
literally like a few days before.
Yeah. So you're right, but this is different though, because like we've seen, I don't know, like struggling companies as crypto gets hot again, like rebrand themselves to like blockchain, coffee on ice, blockchain, diapers, whatever, right? Like, and it worked. Like their stocks shot up, and then of course they dumped.
Yeah.
And you're seeing it again, but they're not rebranding. They're still the same company. They're just like they've pivoted their treasuries.
Yeah, the treasury strategy is now acquiring
Yeah.
like these crypto assets. Vary from Bitensor, XRP, what other ones?
Fetch
ETH?
AI.
Joe Lubin acquiring
Yeah, Joe
ETH?
Lubin. He like converted like a gaming company or something.
Yeah.
Just acquired some gaming company that probably sucks. Just converting it to it. ETH holding. He's gonna do the MicroStrategy approach.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes.
This does not make sense. Don't say this.
I mean,
makes
it's an interesting strategy. I think. I don't think it's gonna work, but it is an interesting strategy.
I think it's gonna work until it
until
stops,
it doesn't.
Until it doesn't. Yeah. And I made this kind of prediction, but I thought it was gonna only be Bitcoin. I did not see this happening. Where like.
Yeah,
for whatever reason, the other cryptos have market appeal.
I guess Bitcoin has such a long-term ROI that I feel like those struggling companies that are starting at 5 million market cap on NASDAQ, they don't have the same, I guess, lifespan. So they're gambling on Bitensor, XRP for a higher return,
maybe.
shorter time span.
Or maybe it's just like a competing for narrative type of a situation where it's like you got to be a first mover at something. It's not as interesting like a $5 million shell company becoming a
Bitcoin.
Yeah, when there's MicroStrategy and there's GameStop and there's other multi-billion-dollar companies doing the same thing. It's like that's not gonna notch your price up in any direction. But I'm the first mover on AI, crypto AI, or
true.
The first mover on NFTs at some point. I'm just gonna scoop up crypto punks. Yeah, I just feel like I could come next, you know?
I feel like that's a never-ending, sort of like a losing battle because there's going to be so many AI Web3 projects. Like, you're never going to pick the right winner every single time. And with Bitcoin, it's different. Like, it's just Bitcoin.
All they've done so far is just pick, like, the highest market cap coins, right?
True.
Fetch and Bitensor. It's literally like 1 and 2. I mean, the next one would be virtuals, I guess. It's like people, some companies just like fucking virtuals it up, dude.
Yeah, such a weird.
Yeah, so this can't be the top, right? Because it's kind of like just happening. So more of this, I guess. Expect more of this for the next 6 to 12 months, I guess.
Yeah. So what would be like a crazy example?
It's got to be memes, right? It's got to be companies
buying meme like Fartcoin
and PayPay. And whatever else.
That's
fucking Murad's coin, SPX 6900.
Yeah, flip the stock market.
Oh, shit.
We're going to do it for real this time.
It's actually in the stock market. And that stock could just do like 1,000x or something. Well, probably not, but.
Yeah, it could.
But that's a good narrative. Like, good narrative.
A $5 million like shit company going into $5 billion?
Well, to flip the stock market, I don't know.
You'd have to do that, right?
Way more than $5 billion.
Whoa.
But yeah, it's never going to do that. But the point is, it's like some stock shell company now is acquiring the meme of flipping the stock market. So therefore, maybe it flips some like big companies as a result.
Yeah, like Apple.
Oh, God.
Turns into a $3 trillion company.
Yeah, that's it, dude. Get out. Sell everything and get in the bunker.
Yeah.
That's the end of everything, dude. If that happens.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it. So we're gonna be taking a week break here. The next 7 days. We're still gonna be cooking. We're also taking a break from the Twitter Spaces that Matt Boyley was hosting, and I think he tweeted out there that we were gonna take a break here.
Yeah.
But it's not a break in the sense.
Vacation,
it's not a vacation or a break in the sense that we're not working.
We're just gonna punish our AIs a little bit more.
Get double time, dude.
Yeah, get them to really.
It's like why do I need to tell you what to do? You should know what to do. Just do it.
God damn
you know what I'm building. Just why do I have to like tell you what to do? Just do it.
Jesus, dude. I would hate being married to you, dude. So aggressive, dude. Fuck. Jeez.
It's not that hard. It shouldn't be this hard.
Right.
But yeah, the 7 day break. Damn. I guess we're gonna go cold on the comms then.
Yeah, we did it a couple weeks ago, but yeah, we're doing it again. But we'll be back. and hopefully with some like some good updates, right? Because you know, like we said, we've got a direction, a focus, and we really want to like execute and bring something that we think is a notable contribution to this market.
You know what's interesting is, you know, we run this podcast, we do YouTube videos, and we're also running a business too, a company.
Mm-hmm.
And there's companies out there that don't have podcasts.
I'm seeing a lot more starting to do that though. Like,
true.
That was one of the predictions I made like years ago when we first started this.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, at some point, like most companies are gonna just have their own podcast. Like that's gonna be like their front and face representation of their company, right?
Yeah, it's just
I mean, it's such an efficient communication platform. Like that's one of the biggest gripes of the market, like with a lot of these founders, right? It's they only communicate through X.
Yeah.
And like a few posts a day.
Yeah.
And they're not like fully, you know, putting it all out there.
Yeah.
This is like the thing where you know, it's the same thing as like, you know, the reason why Biden didn't go on Joe Rogan's podcast because he was, you know, afraid of a slip up, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, similar concept. It's like a podcast, you could trust somebody more who's willing to like verbalize and communicate their thoughts and ideas and their intentions through like a long form format like this.
Yeah, 100%.
Because it means they're not like hiding anything, right? They're not afraid of like something
slipping up.
Slipping up. It's like, oh shit. Oh fuck, we shouldn't have told them that we're gonna rug. Oops. It's like, oops, that slipped. Like people who have like the intentions of a rug, they're not gonna do this.
They're not gonna do a podcast
because they're afraid it's gonna slip out somehow, some Freudian moment, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, we're not there yet.
We're not there the rug yet.
Yeah. Not yet. No, it's coming
at
some point, guys. Beware.
All right. Yeah, that's it for us. We will see you in about, let's say, 2 weeks.
We'll see you when we see you.
No, a week. It's going to be a week. Yeah.
See you in a week.
Yeah. All right, guys. That's it for us. Appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure you follow our Twitter accounts and hit us up with any questions. We're still going to be around.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate you for watching. We'll catch you in the next podcast. Peace.